This is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one, the only Adam Rippon.
I'm here. I'm behind. On the other side of the velvet rope this time.
Listen, Adam, if anyone knows about being behind the velvet rope, it's you. I mean, now you have stars on Mars.
I know. Can you believe that they sent me to Mars? I
I
can't.
I mean, I cannot. But listen, like you've won Olympic medals, you've won many competitions, you have a mirror ball trophy. What goes through your mind, your team's mind, when you're just minding your own business and the phone rings and it's Fox and it's like, well, listen, we want you to go to space or at least a simulated space. And, here we go. We're going to send you to Red Planet. Like, what goes through your mind when you get this call?
Well, okay. So I got a call maybe like a year ago where they said, "Would you like to do this show where like you would pretend to join the Marines and you'd have to go like through Marine training?" And I was like, I think I'd rather join the real Marines than actually do that on TV. That sounds horrible. And then this year, I got asked if I wanted to go to Mars, and I went, okay, that's more what sounds like me, is going to outer space. And it felt like it was going to be really fun. It was like the simulation of Mars. So I had no idea what to expect, but it just sounded like, okay, this will be fun.
You had no reservations with this, this whole thing.
No, I'm ready to leave Earth.
Special forces, Mars. I get it. Well, look, I mean, I've seen the set, I read somewhere it took like months and months to complete. Like, what was your first reaction to just kind of getting there to this simulated set and adjusting to life at base camp?
So when we got there, the base camp looks like, it reminded me of like being at an Olympic training center before. So it's like very camp vibes. And, we got out there, we did our first mission, and it was completely chaotic. I had no idea what was going on. I was like, okay, it was much harder than I thought. But then I saw clips of it, and I was shocked at how unreal this footage looks. It looks like the best space movie I've ever seen. It really, like, all the money they put in was so well worth it for the visuals that like everybody's going to see, because we really haven't seen anything. I've just seen like raw footage of what was happening. But that footage is like unbelievable.
Well, in true Fox fashion, this is a reality TV show competition, which Fox is great at. Look, you're competing to be the brightest star in the galaxy. I mean, you are no stranger to a competition, having started training very young. Like, are you a real competitor, or am I just giving you this backstory? I would imagine out of the people there, you're one of the more competitive ones.
I always think that I'm not competitive until I get into a competitive environment. And then I turn into this like monster that I don't recognize, that I should recognize, that I've lived with, because I am that monster. And I think that, in my sport, I was like an individual athlete. And in this competition, there's a real team aspect of like you're working together. So it's a different dynamic than I'm used to, like as a competitor. Even like Dancing with the Stars, where it's like, it's you're on a team, but it's just the two of you. And you have to do your performance, and that performance is what it is. And this is definitely, it was a little bit different. And when I say a little bit, it was totally different. But I was still, yeah, I am competitive.
Your secret safe here with me.
Thank you.
What like did who shocked you the most out of your fellow contestants? Like, did someone stand out and shock you the most?
I think like, to no shock that the other athletes on the show were fantastic. But I was really impressed with Tinashe. She was so great. She is like such a she's very competitive. She's quiet, but she's deadly.
Quiet but deadly. What was it like being there with Porsha Williams?
I mean, it was like being in heaven. It was like being on Mars. Um, we've never met before, Portia and and I was like, you know what? I think we're gonna hit it off, and we did. She's one of my favorite people. I mean, how can you not love Portia? She's one of the funniest people I've ever met.
Are you a reality TV fan? Like, do you watch Real Housewives? Do you watch other reality TV?
So I watched a little of The Housewives. Like I saw one really slow season of Beverly Hills. And I've always been like, I need to watch Atlanta. I need to watch Atlanta. I've never watched it, which is, I know I should log off now and never speak to anyone again. But I'm not going to do that because now I know Portia. But now I also know that I've missed critical American television.
Critical American television. Well, I mean, you also have Tom Schwartz there in the midst of this Scandoval. I mean, was he able to be left alone and just compete in the competition with everyone else? I mean, we do even see in the trailer, I think him and Portia have a moment with like fellow Bravo, and I think he's just expecting people to bring up the Scandoval.
Well, I think lucky for Tom that like nobody was really in on the Scandoval. Yes, have I seen Vanderpump Rules? Of course. I'm only human. But I haven't seen it and I was like, okay, I need to start watching the season and I never got around to it because then I went to space. So I didn't really know what was going on. And I think for Tom it was probably like a good escape to get away, go to Mars, recollect.
Recollect, come out into the world fresh.
Right.
Well, look, I mean, speaking of your own career, like when you look back, you've done so much. I mean, now you are on Mars, stars on Mars, and you've done so much in media and entertainment. Like when you look back to like the Olympics and your own training, like does that seem, I mean, it wasn't like that long ago. I mean, does that just seem like another lifetime to you? Or do you just have
It feels like that's a totally different person. And it wasn't that long ago, but it was 5 years ago, which sounds insane, but a lot can happen in 5 years. And that version of me, I mean, I'm still myself, I'm still me, but like it feels a total lifetime ago. I can't imagine living that life of like that elite athlete. Um, and I loved it. I loved that life, but I love what I do now. And I feel like, everything I did before helped prepare me to like live in this entertainment world now.
Did you have a plan for after the Olympics? And, like a lot of athletes that then go to the Olympics, eventually just it's one of those businesses where obviously you age out and there's many other things you can do. But like, what was your plan if this whole media and because I mean, I'm sure you didn't plan on all of this.
No, I didn't plan on going to Mars. I didn't plan on going on Dancing with the Stars. I didn't have a plan, David. You have to believe me. I really just went into the Olympics, and when I went in, and I knew that it would be my one and only competitive opportunity, and I said, I'm just going to enjoy it in the best way that I can. I've always loved entertaining people. I've always been like outspoken. I've always loved being in front of a camera.